All right, let's cut the crap and get straight to it. Kali Linux, we all know why you're here. You want to be that hacker man, right?
Well, Kali can be your digital lockpick set, but you gotta be ready to learn. It's not for the faint of heart.
That, no weekend warrior bullshit. We're talking serious hacking tools here.
Say it
Yeah.
serious, man. Kali's built on Debian Linux, so it's rock solid. Like, think of Fortress built on Bedrock. But you need a decent machine to run it, none of that toaster crap, at least 20 gigs of storage, 2 gigs of RAM, and a decent processor, like an Intel Core i3 or better, or an AMD E1.
Okay, so this is like bringing a gun to a knife fight. But what makes it so special? I mean, it can't just be the whole black theme thing, right?
Hell no. Kali comes preloaded with over 600 tools.
600.
Yeah, man, 6 fucking 100 for everything. You got air cracking for cracking Wi-Fi, Burp Suite for messing with web apps, Metasploit for, well, let's just say exploiting weaknesses.
Hold up, exploiting weaknesses. Sounds kind of legal now. Or we're
What?
talking black hat shit here?
Nah, man. Kali's used by the good guys, too. Security researchers, ethical hackers. They're the ones who find the holes before the assholes do. It's like a security audit on steroids.
Okay, so like a virtual crowbar. But you got to know how to use it before you go busting down doors.
Hmm.
Speaking of which, what's this Kali Net Hunter thing I keep hearing about? Sounds kind of James Bondish.
Basically, Kali, but on your phone. Turns your Android into a goddamn hacking toolkit. Do all sorts of sneaky shit from your pocket.
That's what I'm talking about. So like sipping my latte, cracking Wi-Fi passwords, nobody suspecting a thing.
Theoretically, yeah. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility and all that jazz. Don't do anything illegal. We don't want the FBI knocking on your door.
Right, right. Stay ethical or whatever. What about this forensic mode thing? Sounds like some CSI cyber bullshit.
Think of it like this. Forensic mode is all about preserving evidence. It keeps Kali from messing with the hard drive, whatever you're looking at. Like wearing gloves at a crime scene, don't contaminate the evidence.
Gotcha. So you're saying you can use it to, like, analyze a hacked system without screwing things up even more.
Exactly. Recover deleted files, see what the user was doing, basically piece together what the hell happened.
Damn, Cully's sounding more and more impressive by the minute. Okay, so 600 tools. That's a shitload. Where the hell do you even start?
Well, that's the beauty of it. There's a tool for pretty much everything you can think of. Reconnaissance, vulnerability scanning, exploitation, password cracking, wireless attacks, web app testing, even digital forensics.
Shit, you could like bring down a small country with this thing.
Mm.
So, any favorites? Ones you'd recommend for a newbie?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll use my powers for good. Mostly.
If you're just starting out, Nmap's a good place to begin. It's a network scanner that can tell you a lot about a target system without actually breaking in. Sort of like casing the joint before a heist, except, legal.
Nmap. Got it. So like a digital recon mission? I dig it. Walk me through how this thing works. Does it just like magically reveal all the secrets of a network?
Not magic, but pretty close. Nmap lets you discover hosts on a network, identify open ports, see what operating system they're running, what services are active, that kind of stuff.
So I could use it to see what's running on my home network, make sure my roommate isn't torrenting illegal shit and slowing down my connection.
Exactly. You can map out your whole network, find potential vulnerabilities, even see if any devices have been compromised. Like if your smart fridge suddenly decides to join a botnet, you'll know.
All right, now we're talking proactive security.
Mm.
Better to know what you're dealing with before some script kiddie decides to wreak havoc, right?
Absolutely. You can also use Nmap to test the security of your own web server or applications. Make sure your digital house is locked up tight.
Wait, so I can use Nmap to hack myself? Now that's some next level self-awareness.
Think of it more like a self-assessment. By running Nmap against your own systems, you're basically identifying weaknesses that an attacker could exploit, like a vulnerability checkup.
Gotcha. Better to find the holes in your own armor before someone else tries to poke through them. Okay, Nmap is officially on my to-learn list. What other goodies does this Kali box of tricks have up its sleeve? Give me the good stuff.
All right, let's talk about air cracking.
Ooh, air cracking now we're talking. That's the Wi-Fi cracking one, right? This is where things get interesting.
Yeah, air cracking's got a lot of uses, but cracking Wi-Fi passwords is definitely one of its most popular. Let's be real, who hasn't been tempted to snag their neighbor's Wi-Fi when theirs is down?
Hell yeah. Free internet is the best internet. But seriously, how does this air cracking thing work? Does it just magically guess passwords until it gets the right one?
It's not magic, but it can feel like it. Air cracking captures wireless network traffic and then analyzes it to crack the encryption keys.
Sounds complicated.
Yeah.
Do I need a PhD in computer science to use this thing?
Nah, it's not rocket science. There are tons of tutorials and resources online that can walk you through the process.
Okay, so maybe I won't be cracking the NSA's Wi-Fi anytime soon, but at least I can learn how to secure my own network. Keep those pesky script kiddies out.
Exactly. That's the whole point of ethical hacking, understanding how these tools work so you can better protect yourself.
Knowledge is power, or something like that.
Mhm.
So, besides Nmap and air cracking, what other tools should I be adding to my Kali arsenal? What else is going to make me feel like a badass hacker?
Well, there's Metasploit.
Metasploit. That name sounds kind of ominous. What kind of havoc can I wreak with this one?
Metasploit's a framework for developing and executing exploit code against a target system.
Exploit code. Okay, now you're speaking my language. That sounds seriously dangerous. Like, delete all your files kind of dangerous.
It can be, but it's also an incredibly valuable tool for security professionals. Metasploit lets you simulate real-world attacks and test how effective your security controls actually are.
So like a digital crash test dummy for my network.
Exactly. You're basically hacking yourself in a controlled environment to see where the weaknesses are.
I'm all for a little digital self-destruction. What else should I know about Metasploits? Is it as user-friendly as some of the other tools we've talked about?
Powerful, yeah. But not exactly for beginners. There's definitely a learning curve. And you gotta use it responsibly. Always get permission before running any exploits against a target system. We don't want you ending up on some government watch list.
Right. No unauthorized hacking. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, enough about Metasploits. What other tools do you have in your hacking toy box?
Let's switch gears a bit. Talk about something a little different. Social engineering.
Social engineering.
Yeah.
Isn't that like tricking people into giving you their passwords? Sounds kind of shady, even for a hacker.
Yeah, it can be, but it's also a legitimate part of ethical hacking. It's all about, understanding how people think and behave so you can find their weaknesses, like how to manipulate the fuck out of them.
So like sending phishing emails, pretending to be from IT. I've totally fallen for those before.
That's one example. But social engineering can also be like impersonating a customer service rep, creating fake social media profiles. Hell, even just using your charm and wit to get someone to spill the beans.
Damn, so it's like a psychological mind game. Sounds kind of fun, actually.
It can be. But remember, we're talking about ethical hacking here. So you'd only use this stuff to test the security awareness of your own employees or clients, right? Not to like scam some poor grandma out of her life savings.
Right. No manipulating innocent people. Got it. So what kind of tools does Kali have for this social engineering voodoo?
One of the most well-known is the Social Engineering Toolkit. SET, for short. It's a framework for creating and launching all sorts of social engineering attacks.
Social engineering toolkit, huh? Sounds intense. What can you do with that? Like create a fake Facebook profile and catfish someone.
You could definitely do that. But SET can also be used for more serious attacks, like creating phishing websites, sending malicious attachments, even setting up fake wireless access points.
Fake wireless access points.
Yeah.
So like I can set up a fake Wi-Fi network and trick people into connecting to it. That's some next-level evil genius shit.
Exactly. And once they're connected, you can potentially capture their traffic, steal their credentials. It's a classic hacker move.
I'm starting to see why social engineering is such an effective hacking technique.
Yeah.
It preys on people's stupidity.
It's more about exploiting human nature, really. People are often the weakest link in any security system. We're all susceptible to manipulation, especially if you hit the right emotional buttons.
True enough?
Mm.
Fear, greed, curiosity. We all have our weaknesses. All right, so SET is a must-have for any aspiring social engineer. Sounds like I need to add this to my arsenal.
It's definitely a valuable tool, but again, use it responsibly. Don't go using it to steal people's identities or drain their bank accounts. That's not what ethical hacking is about.
Right. I'll keep it ethical. So we've talked about Nmap for reconnaissance, air cracking for Wi-Fi hacking, Metasploit for launching exploits, and SetDeet for social engineering. What other hacking goodies does Kali have in store? I'm ready to level up my skills.
Okay, let's talk about password cracking.
Password cracking.
Yeah.
Is that as easy as it sounds? I feel like I've seen it done in movies, like in 5 seconds.
It can be a complex process, but Kali has a number of tools that can make it easier and faster. Think of them as digital sledgehammers for breaking down password doors.
Like what? Give me the names. I'm ready to start cracking.
One of the classics is John the Ripper. It uses a bunch of different techniques to crack passwords, including dictionary attacks, brute force attacks, and rainbow table attacks.
Whoa, hold up. Dictionary attacks, brute force attacks, rainbow table attacks. What the hell are those? Sounds like some serious hacker jargon.
It's not as complicated as it sounds. A dictionary attack is basically trying every word in a dictionary to see if it matches the password. A brute force attack is trying every possible combination of characters. And a rainbow table attack uses pre-computed tables to speed up the cracking process.
So John the Ripper just throws everything it has at a password until it breaks. Sounds kind of brute forcey, even for a hacker tool.
It's pretty effective, especially for cracking weak passwords. You know, the kind people use, like password 123 or their pet's name.
Yeah, people are idiots when it comes to choosing passwords. I'm guilty of it myself. But who can remember all those random characters and symbols? It's a pain in the ass.
That's why you should use a password manager. It can generate strong, unique passwords for all your accounts and store them securely.
Good tip. I'll have to look into that. So besides John the Ripper, are there any other password cracking tools I should know about?
There's Hashcat, another popular choice. It's known for its speed and efficiency, and it supports a wide range of hashing algorithms.
Hashing algorithms. Now you're really losing me. Is that like some kind of mathematical voodoo?
A hashing algorithm is basically a function that takes a password and converts it into a unique string of characters. This string is called a hash, and it's what gets stored in a password database. Password cracking tools try to reverse that process by finding the password that matches a given hash.
Okay, I think I get the gist of it. So Hashcat is like John the Ripper, but on steroids.
You could say that. It's a very powerful tool, and it's used by, both security professionals and bad actors, so you know it's got to be good.
Great. Another tool to add to my hacking toolbox. I'm starting to feel like I could take over the world with all this knowledge.
Don't get ahead of yourself. We're just scratching the surface here. But hey, at least you're starting to understand the power of Kali Linux.
All right, so we've covered social engineering, password cracking, and a whole bunch of other stuff. What else can we do with this bad boy? Give me more hacking goodness.
Let's dive into the world of wireless attacks.
Wireless attacks, like hacking Wi-Fi networks. Now you're talking my language. I've always wanted to know how to do that.
Kali has a bunch of tools that can be used to, test the security of wireless networks, make sure your neighbor isn't stealing your precious internet.
We already talked about air cracking.
Yeah.
What else is there? Give me the juicy details.
Well, there's Reaver. It's a tool that can be used to crack WPS PNs. WPS is a security protocol that's supposed to make it easy to connect to wireless networks. But it's also vulnerable to attacks. Reaver can brute force the WPS PIN and give you access to the network.
Brute force the WPS PIN. So basically, it just keeps trying different PNs until it finds the right one. Sounds like a digital lockpicker.
Exactly. It's not the most sophisticated attack, but it can be effective against poorly configured wireless networks. The kind people set up and then forget about.
Damn. So just having a strong Wi-Fi password isn't enough. You gotta make sure your WPS settings are locked down too. It's getting complicated.
Security's all about layers, man. You want to make it as difficult as possible for someone to break into your network. Think of it like a digital fortress with, multiple walls and moats.
All right, noted. So besides Reaver, are there any other wireless hacking tools I should be aware of?
There's Kismet. It's a wireless network detector, sniffer, and intrusion detection system.
A wireless network detector, sniffer, and intrusion detection system. That's a mouthful. What exactly does it do? Sounds like it could spy on my neighbors.
Kismet can be used to identify wireless networks, capture wireless traffic, and detect intrusions. It's a valuable tool for, both security professionals and those who are a little more ethically challenged.
Sounds like a pretty versatile tool. So I can use it to see what wireless networks are in my area, capture the traffic, and even detect if someone's trying to hack into my network.
Exactly. Kismet's a powerful tool for wireless security auditing and analysis.
All right, I'm adding Kismet to my ever-growing list of Kali tools to learn. I'm starting to feel like a real hacker now.
Just remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Don't go using these tools for evil.
Yeah, I know. I'll keep it legal, mostly. So we've covered social engineering, password cracking, wireless attacks, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Is there anything else Kali can do? I'm feeling greedy for more hacking knowledge.
There's a lot more to Kali Linux than we have time to cover in this, this deep dive. But hopefully this has given you a good overview of its capabilities and how powerful it can be in the right hands.
It definitely has. I'm starting to see why Kali is the go-to operating system for, ethical hackers and security professionals. It's like a digital Swiss Army knife for anyone who wants to explore the dark side of the internet.
Just remember, the dark side isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes you gotta fight fire with fire.
All right, round 3.
Yeah.
Let's finish this Kali Linux beatdown. We've torn through a shitload of tools, techniques, but there's one more area we got to hit. Web app testing.
Web app testing. That's where it's at these days, man. Think about it. All the good stuff, all the juicy data. It's all online now, right? Banking, shopping, social media. It's a goddamn goldmine for hackers.
Web app testing.
Right.
Sounds a little boring compared to, like, cracking Wi-Fi and launching exploits. Kind of like watching paint dry. But I guess if that's where the data is, that's where we got to go.
Trust me, this is where the real action is. And Kali's got all the tools you need to turn you into a web app wrecking ball. One of the big ones is Burp Suite. Think of it as a web app's worst nightmare.
Burp Suite, huh? Sounds kind of gross, but also kind of badass. Lay it on me. What can this thing do?
Basically, Burp Suite lets you intercept, analyze, even modify the traffic between your browser and a web app. It's like having X-ray vision into how the app works. You can see all the data going back and forth.
So I can see all the good stuff. Credit card numbers, passwords, those spicy little secrets everyone tries to hide. Sign me up.
Potentially, yeah. But remember, ethical hacking, right? Responsibility and all that. We're not using this to steal grandma's retirement fund. We're using it to find vulnerabilities before the bad guys do. Things like cross-site scripting, SQL injection, nasty shit that can cause major damage.
Cross-site scripting, SQL injection, that's the stuff that makes headlines, right? The kind of exploits that lead to those massive data breaches, companies shitting their pants.
Bingo! These vulnerabilities can let attackers steal data, deface websites, even take over entire servers. It's serious business.
Damn. Sounds like Burp Suite's a must-have for anyone running a website. Nobody wants to be the next Equifax. So how does it work? Do I need a computer science degree to figure it out?
Nah, it's not that complicated. Burp Suite has a pretty user-friendly interface, and there's a ton of resources online to get you started. The basic idea is you intercept traffic, analyze it for vulnerabilities, and then exploit those vulnerabilities to see what kind of damage you can do.
So it's like a combination of spying and attacking. That's my kind of tool. What else you got? What other web app testing toys are hiding in the Kali treasure chest?
Another good one is OWASP ZevAP. It's an open source web app scanner, kind of similar to Burp, but with its own strength. Really great for automated security testing.
Automated security testing. So like I can just set it loose on a website and let it do its thing while I go grab a beer.
Pretty much. It crawls through the website, poking and prodding, looking for vulnerabilities, and spits out a nice little report at the end, like a digital bloodhound sniffing out security holes.
Sounds perfect for lazy hackers like myself. So what kind of vulnerabilities can ZAP find? Give me the juicy details.
It can find a whole bunch of stuff. Cross-site scripting, SQL injection, broken authentication, session management issues, insecure direct object references, security misconfigurations. And that's just scratching the surface.
Yeah, that's a lot of vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
Sounds like most websites are walking security disasters just waiting to happen.
You're not wrong. That's why web app testing is so important. It's about finding and fixing these vulnerabilities before the bad guys can exploit them.
Okay, so we got Burp Suite for manual testing, ZAP for automated testing. What other web app hacking tricks do you have up your sleeve?
One important thing is understanding how to manipulate HTTP requests and responses. That's where a tool like Burp Suite really shines. You can intercept requests, modify them, then send them on their way and see how the web app reacts.
So I could change the price of an item in my shopping cart to $0, free stuff.
Theoretically, yeah. But remember, ethical hackers, right? We're not using these techniques to steal stuff. We're using them to identify vulnerabilities and help developers build more secure applications.
Yeah, I know. Ethics schmethics. But seriously, this stuff is pretty damn cool. I'm starting to feel like I could hack anything.
Don't get cocky, kid. Web app security is a complex field. There's always something new to learn. But with the right tools and the right mindset, you can definitely become a force to be reckoned with in the fight against cybercrime.
All right, so we've covered Burp Suite, ZAP, the art of manipulating HTTP requests. What else is there to know about web app testing? Give me the insider knowledge.
One important skill is being able to read and understand source code. A lot of web app vulnerabilities are actually caused by coding errors. So if you can read code, you can often spot these vulnerabilities before they're even exploited.
Reading code. Ugh. Sounds about as fun as, watching paint dry. But yeah. I guess if it helps me find vulnerabilities, it's worth the effort.
It's not as bad as you think. Plenty of resources online that can teach you the basics. And once you start to understand how code works, you'll be amazed at what you can find.
All right, I'm willing to give it a shot. Anything else I should know about web app testing before we wrap this up?
Just remember, web app security, it's a constantly evolving field. New threats are popping up every day, so stay curious, stay informed, and never stop learning.
Words to live by. Well, folks, that's our deep dive into Kali Linux. We explored everything from basic reconnaissance to advanced web app hacking. Hopefully you learned a thing or two about this powerful operating system, how it can be used for both good and evil. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use your knowledge wisely, stay safe, and happy hacking.